Welcome back to Cheche. If you're just joining us, we're speaking to the presidential spokesperson. He also doubles up as the government spokesperson, Manoah Esipisu. And we've talked about your working relationship with the president, your role. You've also given us your opinion on various issues such as the media bill. Nick Miner in Nakuru agrees with you. The media needs to be regulated. There are those in the industry who only follow cash and as a result end up damaging careers, family, and even causing violence. An independent body is the way to go, as self-regulation raises a conflict of interest. But there's also a question from Jao in Kakamega who asks, when will the president visit Western Kenya?
Well, the president has already been to Western Kenya. He was at a church event in Mumias, which most people from Western Kenya think is the heart of that province. This year, I think he will return there for a more elaborate visit, I think. I think when people from places like Western Kenya ask why he hasn't been there, they are reflecting on the fact that he went to the coast and stayed there for 10 days. And I think...
Actually, I left that out of the message.
Yeah, I think that type of visit is on the cards, and he will make it in due course.
What about the rest of the country, like Nyanza? And there are a lot of people who feel after elections that they were left off, that they feel as if they are not part of Kenya. Many people in Nyanza, northeastern. What are we doing to bring that feeling out of those Kenyans? I
think the easier route is to hop on a chopper and visit these places. But I think the more strategic, the more difficult route is to do what the president is doing now, which is talking to local leaders, talking to administrators about projects that improve the livelihoods of those people, so that when he goes to the ground, he actually can say, look, these are the issues we know are here, and this is how we are dealing with them. So for Western Province, for instance, they have a failing sugar economy. And the question is, when you go there, you need to deliver a message of hope. And the president is really engaged with Western leaders in discussing some of the things that need to be done to get a new economic framework, a new economy, if you like, as opposed to just sugar. And if that is then done, you go there with something in hand. I don't think that the people want him to go there and leave them just with rhetoric and nothing really tangible. I think this president strongly believes in improving the welfare of his people, and when he does make those grand visits, they will be with proper coordination and with proper projects thought in mind to help improve the lives of those people. But he will visit every part of Kenya in this presidency. He will visit all 47 counties.
What about our foreign affairs? I mean, we seem to be being a perception that we are moving from the west, we are going towards the east. America seems to be, and the UK, because of ICC issues, seems to be snubbing us. What are we doing about that?
I'm not sure about America snubbing us. President Obama has just invited President Kenyatta to the US-Africa Summit in August. You can't get a greater endorsement from a country than an invitation.
Well, we didn't know about that.
But it's been reported.
Yeah. But having said that, I'll just, in terms of how the presidency approaches international relations, our first constituency is East Africa. Our second constituency is Africa. And once we have done that, we then want to explore what are our areas of interest, what are our areas of interest with the East and the West. The East for us has attraction in the sense of the Indian Ocean Rim, which starts with your trade with Mauritius, to India, to Singapore, to China, Indonesia, that side of things. It's a real broad spectrum. and so it does offer its opportunities. But that does not mean that we have abandoned our traditional allies in the West, the US and Britain. To the extent that they want to do business, we are open to do business. But the President has often said that business must be in the context of mutual respect and win-win scenario. We do not enter deals in which we think that the Kenyan people will not derive the maximum value. But we also, so that's the context of that relationship. But with Africa, we are really deeply committed to the continent. Kenya is the second biggest investor in East Africa. That speaks volumes. With this presidency, the President has already been to the other pillars, if you like, of the African continent. He's been to South Africa, he's been to Nigeria, he's been to Angola. Those are traditionally your strongest economies, and we want to work with them on getting our goods and our trade situation in Africa very much improved.
We're
this
winding
is where
up
we
now.
start.
We're winding up now. Very smart spokesman. Keep it up. Our president should have many of you around him. Like me, Emmanuel says. Of course, you've talked about servicing the executive. What about the First Lady's office and the office of the Deputy President's wife? I don't know if such an office exists. But who manages their communications?
My team would service the First Lady's office. In fact, I have a deputy director for communications responsible for the First Lady. And the unit at the Deputy President's office would service Mrs. Rachel Ruto. We work very closely to ensure that they do not have any need or want in terms of messaging and their events. Okay,
so when she had this event, the Beyond Zero campaign, which is laudable because it focuses on maternal health, it seems as if she wasn't managed very well because she didn't quite deliver a speech.
I think the First Lady not delivering a full-blown speech is not...
It wasn't a speech. It was a thank you for coming.
That is what it was meant to be. She was meant to thank the donors, people interested in this project, for coming forward. Now, a lot of people would like a full-blown 5-10 minute speech in which you outline issues. But
not necessarily a full-blown speech, but why are you engaged in this? Why have you called us here? What is your interest in this?
Yes, I think we ran a video. It was 4 minutes or so, in which the First Lady is interviewed and says the type of things she's going to do and why she is doing them. I think it was felt that, in fact, that did cover the basics of what the First Lady wanted to express. And it may well be that maybe there are those, obviously, seeing from what you're saying, that may have been dissatisfied. So maybe in future forums, she'll speak longer, because obviously there's demand for her to speak a little more.
Actually, yes. It's great to have someone who could who can engage in causes like these, and she is very much admired, and there doesn't seem to be any attempt to capitalize on that, as you see, say, in other countries where the First Ladies are utilized for their public appeal.
I think she's an iconic figure, and obviously she's very committed to her causes. How she communicates that is really dependent on her style, and she may not necessarily do what other First Ladies want to do, but what is her primary goal? That in the end the work is done.
Right. As a journalist who was working in South Africa for a long period of time, your appointment was most unexpected. I would like to know how you were recruited.
Well, you would have to ask my boss that. But I think that there was a process, as most of these things usually are. I think the process is based on what is the agenda of the administration and who is best suited to deliver that. I think that the
Did you apply for a job?
I did not apply for the job, so I think it was a head-hunting situation. Yeah. So there would have been a headhunter, and that person would have submitted a shortlist to the president and deputy president. And I think between them they would have discussed and what that shortlist was. What I do know is that it ended up with me getting a phone call and asking me to come to speak to the president about the job. And I am happy to end that.
Were you interviewed?
Okay. This from Lynette Onwucheni. What do you do when you're not addressing the media?
That would depend, in my office or outside the office.
Actually, they want to know what you do outside the office, but I think Lynette's question is what you do inside the office.
Prepare for that address and speak to various people at various levels of government. Speak to the private sector. See who is saying what about government. See what young people want to hear about what the administration is doing for them. So the backroom work is what I do, so that I can prepare adequately for the front office.
Do you normally have regular meetings with staff?
I do have regular meetings. I learned a long time ago that if you go the solo route, you will sleep and will not wake up when the time is right.
Okay, so we're winding up the show. Mutegi, any final thoughts, any comments?
I think they're doing a good job.
They're doing a good job. You think the government's communications is satisfactory?
We've never had any government spokesman.
Yes, we have. Dr. Alfred Mutua.
Apart from Mutua.
Isaiah
previously,
Kabira.
Kabira has never been a
presidential press service.
Never. Never. It didn't happen.
Okay, well, you seem to be fairly laudatory. Manoah, any final thoughts before we close the show?
I think the Kenyan people will see more of cabinet secretaries this year going forward. They'll see more principal secretaries. They will see more of government explaining what it does to help improve their welfare. This is, the president runs a very open government. We're very transparent. If there is anything we need to get out there and you think we are not getting, please get in touch. We would happily oblige. Okay, for those who missed your email address, please give it once more. Yeah, my email address is spokesperson at president.go.ke. That's spokesperson at president.go.ke. Okay, thank you. Our time is up. Presidential and government spokesman Manoah Esipisu has been our guest this morning. We thank you for your time on Cheche, and our thanks also to Mutegi Njau of Royal Media Services. You've been watching Cheche on Citizen TV. I'm Odwa Kamimo. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your week.